are now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
Hey, it's the Sportz Nutz.
Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Buy one, get one 50% off drinks.
Tequila's Grill Mexican restaurant has homemade salsa bars. They have the most authentic, most delicious, and most affordable Mexican cuisine in town.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sportz Nutz. Yes, guys, it is Friday. Happy Good Friday to you all, and have a wonderful Easter weekend. We hope you and your family are blessed. Hey, guys, we have a great show indeed set up for everybody. Look, guys, like I said, it is on like Donkey Kong. It's Good Friday. We're going to have a lot of fun with this show. We're talking some NHL. We're talking some NBA playoffs. We're talking a little bit of outside of the NBA playoffs as well, with a particular head coach having something happen to him. We are going to be joined by a guest for approximately 20 minutes to talk some WrestleMania. This is all Hank right there. Hank is going to be having some good old time with that one. Can't wait to get it going. And then, guys, of course, we're going to also just talk some Major League Baseball. Obviously, the Atlanta Braves, everybody. Chasm Jr. was ejected, and then it's also been suspended for one game. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. But before we go any further, my man's sitting right here. That's so weird. They like alternate. Hank, what's going on, brother?
It's WrestleMania.
Hey, man. Good. I'm telling you. Hey, Jace, what's up, man?
Yeah, Jason, what's going on, buddy, man? Hey, that's our buddy Jason from the County River Gators.
I can't do that too often, by the way. That hurt my vocals. But no, man, I'm good. We're just, it's a underrated sports weekend. I mean, you still got play-in tournament games going on. You've got, the hockey. You got, what else do we have? I mean, if I had to, obviously WrestleMania. That's it's a 2-night thing, so we're having fun, but. A lot of football talk too. I mean, they're talking about the Chiefs trading up and things like that. So, it's a very underrated sports weekend because WrestleMania will be headlining it all. But at the same time, there's still a lot of competitive team sports that are still having conversations about things like trades.
Oh, absolutely. And we can't wait to go and pay. Before we go any further, Hank, make sure you reconnect your Facebook, because it's not streaming on Facebook right now. Just to let you know.
Oh, is it not? Okay.
No, yeah. So, all right, guys. I am excited. Yes, it looks like I'm in a different place because I am. We took a little trip down to the A to spend time with some family friends. Can't wait to spend time with them. Shout out to them, but I want to give a special shout out to Addison and their softball team. Hank, I don't know if I told you, I might have. But last night, Addison's team, guys, and I want you all to listen to this. This is a very true stat. It was 7-2 going into the top of the 5th inning, and the smallest player on the team, little Ava, starts it off. She gets a base hit, her first ever hit. She is beyond excited for this, right? Well, then the next player gets hit. Then another player, bases loaded. The next girl comes up, grand slam, and it's a true grand slam. She hits, and then another player comes up. Then Addison comes up, base hit, gets another RBI. The game ended 15-2 in favor of Addison's team. Every player got at least one hit, and Addison is currently batting 7 for 12 for the season. And she has 9 RBIs, which is the team lead in RBIs by 1. So shout out to my girl and shout out to the girls of the team, because they have really come up. They've won as many games already than they won the entire last year. Shout out to the Lady Patriots. Girls, I am so proud of you. I cannot express my level of excitement for them, because it's pretty awesome to see what they're doing. Also, got to give a shout out to Hank. I remember I told you one of the girls lost their family member.
No, I think you did. I think I remember that. Go ahead, though.
So unfortunately, we got more news. It was actually a widowmaker heart attack he had. So
Oh,
unfortunately, he passed away. But when you want to talk about an act of divine intervention last night, how about this? She went 4 for 4. She had a single. Oh, she had 2 singles, a triple, and a home run, and she almost went 5 for 5. But she was the next batter up, but they run ruled the team. So, but she got and then she made an incredible catch to get it out. So the game ball went to her and her mom because her mom's going through a tumultuous time. But I mean, just incredible. Like she said, "Hold my drink. I'm going to play the lights off of the game," and she dominated. The whole team did great. I'm so proud of these girls, man. So definitely, if you guys can give a round of applause and just a quick shout out, to the Lady Patriots. So that's right. It's exciting that they were able to accomplish this momentous game. So all right, so let's get going, guys. Obviously, right now the Atlanta Hawks are doing the Atlanta Hawk thing. Matt would be happy to tell you that they do that. This is what happens. The Miami Heat are looking to become the first ever 10th seed to advance to the playoffs. Well, Atlanta got blown out by the Orlando Magic, and now they're getting blown out by the Miami Heat. It is currently 45-28. This is an absolute abysmal performance. The Atlanta Hawks are going to be sitting on the couch again, just like they do every year for whatever reason. So obviously, now let's go to the next game I want to talk about, because this one's going to be more of an interesting than the Atlanta Hawks game apparently. Hank, your boys, they're playing host to the Dallas Mavericks. Ja Morant is a game time decision. Obviously, he rolled his ankle pretty good. I mean, it was a pretty yucky, awkward landing. But what do you think about this? Like, I mean, give me your thoughts on this. And do you think that your boys are going to pull it out and upset, well, not upset, but beat the Dallas Mavericks?
It's a crapshoot because we've always had success when or we've always had the ability to have success when Ja Morant's not around. So he's not the game changer that you would think he is in many cases, especially like when we went to the playoffs in 2023. So now we are a different squad now because we don't have Dylan Brooks and Jake LaRavia and a few others. But no, I wouldn't say it's, no offense to Atlanta, but Atlanta needs to get their fishing poles in the back seat of their cars, man, ready. But in Memphis's case, it's a crapshoot. So,
oh yeah, absolutely. With the Atlanta Hawks in general, I mean, look, right now it's 45-30. I don't know, man. Like Matt and I have said this so many times, right? So many times.
yeah.
It's get Trey another All-Star. An example was last game against the Orlando Magic. He got thrown out and he got double tagged. The first one was he threw the ball at the referee, and then the referee teed him up, and so Trey kicked the ball away from the referee and then just chucked it back at him. He was thrown out of the game. You can see that's the level of frustration that he's going through right now. He's burned out. He's tired of mediocre. And, I'm not going to fault him on that because I'm tired of it too. Like, what happened to
I don't know.
the team?
I don't know, but you can't. That's the thing about it. People always put too much pressure on the superstar. He's not the issue. I mean, the guy leads. I mean, isn't he like the lead in assists this year?
Yeah. He's blowing it out of the water.
So, he's in the same position that Tyrese Halliburton was in last year. And it's, you have to, the funny thing about assists is that obviously the basket has to be made if the assist happened. So there's something going on with the defense. Obviously, it's got to be. Like, I haven't watched none of the games, hardly, but this got to be. I mean, am I wrong, or are they just not making enough? Are they not like executing enough on offense to where? I mean, what's going on with them, man?
It's both. I mean, you look at it this way, all right. So when in Matt, guys, if you haven't seen, there is a short out there that we created. It's name one other All-Star that Trae Young has played with. And you cannot name another All-Star because he has not played with another All-Star. And all right, so for instance, the Atlanta Hawks made some like obnoxious trades this season because they wanted to get below the luxury tax. But you know what, though? Who cares if you're going to be in the luxury tax? You've got to get better because you're going to lose. This ownership was promising that they were going to do X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. They haven't even done ABC yet. And people are getting really tired of the same results year in and year out. Our good friend Brandon Leak at 680 The Fan said Atlanta Hawks, they're good at moments, but then they do what they do best, and they just give you just enough to make you excited for the possibility, but they don't achieve the ultimate excitement for it. And it's so disheartening to see this. And I've been a diehard fan for as long as I can remember. I saw Spudweb play. I saw Dominique Wilkins. I met my all-time favorite player in Dikembe Mutombo, and I still have his basketball. I have a poster. I have a team poster. I have everything. So this to me is a proud franchise, but dang gum, it's like they can't get their heads out of cloud nine and realize you have to build around your superstar now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not going to want to be a part of that. And they're going to say, oh, you know what, though? I can go to Orlando or LA or wherever the choice may be, and I could possibly win 1, 2, 3. I mean, shoot, I could even 4 championship rings. And here's the crazy part is teams I'm just going to throw this team out just for, for the heck of it. Sacramento Kings. What if they are able to get Trae Young to come to the team and they re-sign Sabonis? And then you really have this lineup. And what would be even more of a slap in the face is if Trae Young does go to like a team like Sacramento and they win. Come on, what is going on with this situation,
Well, and the problem is that they're not riddled with injuries. So that's what I'm getting at,
Yeah, they're not.
Most of these teams, they don't have that have potential like the Atlanta Hawks have. They've got, the Atlanta Hawks have all the potential in the world. I mean, Clint Capella's still down there, right? And all those guys. Clint Capella is all-star caliber, in my opinion. And you got a few others that are above average role players down there. But the thing about it is that.
But here you said role players. That's what that is. That's all they have are role players.
Right. I think they're above average role players myself. Clint Capella is to me is an all-star, but there's just not enough room in the East for his position. But you can only use potential so long before you need to change the game plan up. And Trae's been down there for what? How many years?
I think 7 years now.
Yeah, so he's had his time there, and it's nothing. It's the same thing if Morant. You can't take these things personally. These guys, it's like when LeBron left Cleveland in 2010. You can't take these things personally. These guys have careers. They've got legacies. They've got all these things. Trae leads the league in assists, and he's barely going to – and he's probably not going to get in the play on tonight. Come on.
Yeah, it's not – it's really frustrating. But you know what, though? Right now it's 45-34.
Yeah.
Miami, Atlanta, you guys can do this. 40-37, Miami. Y'all can do this. Let's get it going. Let's bring some pride back to the city, and stop all this nonsense. Heck, we owned the Cleveland Cavaliers all season. And if Atlanta wins, they're going to Cleveland, which, by the way, folks, you don't know, Atlanta won the series 3-1. So, that right there is pretty impressive. So you've got to say they can do this. They absolutely can. So we'll see on that one. It's just just stop and enough with the mediocre. Look, spend some money and go from there. You know what I mean? Just spend the money. It's okay if you are a little over. You promised this organization left and right, up and down, and everywhere in between, and you have not delivered. And it's really starting to burn everybody's brownies. Let's get it going. You know what I mean? All right. So I want to ask you this. So Greg Popovich, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Coach Pop. He's been the face of the NBA for the San Antonio Spurs for, gosh, as long as I can remember.
At least 25 years.
Since I think it was 96 when he came on. Okay.
Yeah.
So
pushing
he
30.
unfortunately, November 2nd, he suffered a mild stroke. Well, he was taken to the hospital last night. And he was released. He was taken to the hospital on Tuesday night, but he was now released and doing fine. Had a medical incident happen at the restaurant. Coach Pop is 76 years old. He is the oldest coach in the NBA history. He missed the entire season. Our good friend Dustin and Derek, both with Tired Sports Network, they believe that Pop is that his time is done in the NBA. And if it is, it's been an illustrious career. Honestly, we're super proud of what Coach Pop has accomplished, what he has done for the city of San Antonio, the state of Texas, the game of basketball in itself. But obviously, it's time. I think honestly, and my thought is, I'm asking you, Hank, is it time for Coach Pop just to, hang up his whistle?
No, it's not
Really?
time for him to hang it up. All right. Duncan retired in 2016. He hasn't had a superstar since then. He's had some quasi all-star, or he's had a couple all-stars. I forgot what that guy's name. He plays for you guys now, if I'm not mistaken. Does he play for the Wizards?
DeJounte Murray got traded.
Where's he at?
DeJounte Murray, he used to play for the Spurs, then played for the Hawks. Then he got traded and signed an extension with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, was he an all-star one year, I think?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so that's all he's had. He's got Wemby now. Okay, Wemby is not only a all-star, he's a superstar. Okay, he's only in his second season. I think he wants to see what that potential brings. I don't know if he's smart, he would retire, because that kid is going to have two different set of coaches if he doesn't. And, if he loves the team and the game like he should, they're going to need to find a right head coach to mold him and have with him over the next decade or so.
You're right. And, Victor Wembanyama, he's something else, but the dude's like 7'6", has a wingspan of what, like 10 feet or whatever. He's right. Insanely good. But you're only as good as your coaches are.
Yeah.
And they do need some more like Zazzle talent around. So we'll see how that goes. But hopefully I think Pop needs to hang it up just because he's done so much in his career and has achieved so much. I think it's time for him to go ahead and, pass the baton. Obviously, a good friend of ours, Dustin, over at Tired Sports, said he could see the Las Vegas Aces, Becky Hammond, being the next coach. So that would be pretty cool to see a possible female coach in the NBA. All right, Hank. So we have our special guest. He is on. He's getting set up. When his name is Sergio. When he comes on, guys, give him a round of applause. He is actually in Las Vegas, live, boots on the ground at WrestleMania. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, round of applause. Mr. Sergio Bethencourt. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, man. What's going on, Sergio, man? You doing all right?
Man, I'm doing as well as you can be, considering I haven't really slept yet.
So you made it. So you made it to Vegas. What hotel you staying in?
We're at the Horseshoe.
The Horseshoe. Okay, and I haven't been to Vegas. I was 8 years old the last time I went to Vegas, so I don't remember Vegas at all. The Excalibur was the biggest hotel in the world at the time, so there you go. That's a show, or in Vegas, should I say, maybe? But
so the Horseshoe used to be Bally's, which is connected to the Paris. So it's right here, dead center in the Strip. I couldn't really go to my room because my family's trying to rest. So I'm in like this little hallway area. But I can.
Are they coming with you as well?
Oh yeah, they're here.
Okay,
but we have a good shot of the Bellagio. Like I can see the Bellagio from where I'm sitting. So We're kind of at the 50-yard line of the strip.
Did you go to the McAfee show today?
Yes. So we went to the WWE experience.
Okay.
We got there as soon as it opened. I had tickets for my son to do a autograph signing with Jey Uso and with Rhea Ripley, and then we also did a photo op with Jey Uso. So,
oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
sad.
we've been.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that it's I was just going to say that, man. So you haven't slept in a while, and because of that is because, they always have the fan experience and stuff like that. These WrestleManias now, I hear.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, and it's early because obviously tonight you have Friday Night SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So SmackDown I think starts at like 4 or 5 Vegas time. So yeah, this thing ran from 9 to 3, I believe, 9 to 4. But yeah, we got there and McAfee's show was already on, but we were right there, so we got to see Triple H come out and do his interview.
Yeah.
We got to see Roman Reigns come out, which obviously everybody loved that.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, I got some really good footage of that.
Yeah, that was intense. I mean, one of the biggest stars in the world, not just in wrestling, but in the world at one point in time. So, very, very cool experience. What was I going to say? No, man, I'm going to tell you, what was I going to ask you, man? I lost my train of thought there, but okay. So with the WrestleMania experience and stuff like that, did you manage to and I want to, first of all, before I ask my question, thank you for coming on, by the way, because I know SmackDown starts at 5 minutes, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, we're not doing SmackDown. My son's in the room watching TV for that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna be able to watch it, right?
Yeah, we'll be able to watch it. Man, I'm so tired. That's what I was telling you guys. That's what I was telling Brandon. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to do this or not because
Right.
I got up at 2:30 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
Which would have been 12:30 a.m. Pacific Time.
Well,
We flew out
mhm.
and we got to Vegas at 7 a.m. We got straight to the hotel, dropped our bags, went to the WWE experience, and we were running and gunning until about 2:30 our time. So I mean, I'm going just 12 hours of nonstop jet lag. I haven't had any coffee or Red Bull or anything yet.
Oh man, I hate that, man. I mean, but at least you're having a good time. Yeah, and I heard it's not. And my question was going to be: I heard with the experience, it's not as dramatically expensive as I thought it would be, depending on where your seats are, of course.
So for the experience itself, it's pretty reasonable. I think it was like 130 a day for me and my son. So we're going today and tomorrow.
Okay, that's not bad.
But that's about the extent of it. If you want a photo op, that's where it gets pricey. I mean, I bought 2 autograph sessions, one with Rhea Ripley, one with Jey Uso, and I got a photo op with Jey Uso. That's his favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh, I spent like $475.
Yeah, that gets a little pricey, but
It gets real pricey real quick.
It's amazing. It's amazing how great they are with the fans because it's become extremely corporate now with Nick Khan buying. Nick Khan owns UFC. He owns them. He owns a hockey. Does he own a hockey or soccer team? In Vegas.
I'm not sure, but
it don't matter. I'll look it up later.
So the funny thing that you were talking about with Nick Khan, they have a UFC section there, so it's not even WWE World.
Right.
It's like there's UFC stuff there too.
So
it's a little small area, but still.
No, you can have it, man. I mean, that's awesome. Because I heard they're gonna be doing it in Nashville. I'm from Memphis, and I heard they're gonna be doing it in Nashville. I've never been to WrestleMania. My brother's been to one in New Orleans, and he's not as big of a sports fan as I am. So, and it's definitely going to be an experience and stuff like that. The biggest thing about wrestling nowadays, though, is that it's all about the event. Like, it's not about the main event. Most people don't even know what the main event is, unless you are a wrestling fan. And they don't realize that Jey Uso is wrestling Gunther tomorrow night in the first match of this whole 2-day weekend. See?
Yes, and so historically speaking, whoever wins the Royal Rumble gets to main event. The quote has always been they get to main event WrestleMania,
Right.
and they are not the main event.
No.
They are.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that okay, you can wrap it how you want to, but Jey Uso is a popular superstar, but he's not ready to be in the last match of the card. I'm sorry, he's not.
Well, I think with the popularity, his popularity is astronomical right now, and just from this fan experience today, they probably sold twice as much Jey Uso time. They as everybody else. The line for him was twice as long, but obviously they had to sell it. They had an allotted amount of slots, and they were full. They were sold out. So his star is really big right now, and it's probably as big as it's going to be, unless he goes and does like a really big match with, let's say, Roman Reigns. But yeah, I can understand that, but it's just kind of like a lot of people were upset because they go, well, what's the point of promoting it as you get to headline WrestleMania and you don't even get to headline?
I mean, they've done it with Shinzei Nakamura. They did it with Sheamus. They've done it with a lot of guys over the years. They haven't, CM Punk had the title for crying out loud, and John Cena and The Rock headline. I'm telling you, maybe I'm a little old school in this way because how old are you?
44.
Okay, you're a little older than I am, so you're not. So we're about the same age. That being said, I'm a little old school in that way. I think the biggest star on the show is the one that's going to carry it throughout the year, and that's and Cody. There's no bigger star than John Cena on this card, and there's definitely no bigger champion on this card than Cody. Cody looks like a star. He may not have the best catchphrases and stuff like that, but that being said, Jey Uso to me is definitely a main event guy. He's main event Uso or main event Jey or whatever, but it's just the last show. No, the last guy on the card has to be somebody that's like, I never thought Randy Orton was, but they put him on there.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton Randy Orton has always bored me to death, but for some reason they put him on the main card.
Well, so the thing with a guy like Jey is that he comes out with that fun music. Everybody's doing their yeet. I mean, that place, anytime he does that entrance, it is rocking. My son was wearing a Jey Uso shirt, and we were just, strolling through the strip, running around today, and he had 3 or 4 people acknowledge that shirt and throw a yeet at him. Just seeing him wearing his Jey Uso shirt. So it's, there is that pop culture phenomenon, and it's going to get bigger. Hopefully he wins.
I hope so, because he's pushing 40. A lot of people don't realize this. The guy is almost 40 years old, and he's finally in this position. But then again, so is Cody. Cody's in his late 30s. Jey Uso's in his late 30s, maybe even already 40. These guys really. I don't know what it is about them getting in these main. I don't know if it's like a second chance sort of thing, but
Sergio, this is from my wife for you, by the way. She sent a message.
Yeah.
Oh. Thanks.
Oh man, yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you. Hey, Sergio, thank you, man. I appreciate y'all putting the show on here, man. I'm telling. On down in Texas, man. We'll talk about that in a sec here because I need to ask some questions. But my thing, kind of like wrapping up WrestleMania, man. Like the WrestleMania experience nowadays is like when I went to, they had St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Do you remember that one in the late 90s?
Vaguely.
It was in Memphis, okay. And I remember it was like a bunch of cool dudes that were like sports fans and football players and basketball players and stuff like that. And now it's a bunch of nerds. Okay, it's a bunch of nerds nowadays. But at the same time, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's funny because, like, you don't know a lot of people that talk about wrestling or hang out and watch it wrestling. It used to be the cool thing to talk about. But for some reason, they're selling out arenas twice a week. I mean, the Las Vegas Raiders play in the stadium that you're going to watch the wrestling, right?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. The Las Vegas Raiders, they play there every week. And yet, somehow, they're going to fill this place up with like 90,000 people 2 nights in a row. So what am I missing? What am I missing here? Is it it's not the product of the wrestlers, but the product of the company.
Yeah, and I mean, well, if you think about it, they're one of the few companies, WWE, that has reached a billion views on YouTube. There's only a handful of companies that have done that. So their brand is it's global. It's enormous, and it's that escapism. It's a soap opera. Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely a soap opera. But there's just people beating each other up, and what they do. I mean, these guys are athletes. These males and these females are 100% athletes, and the product has gotten even better than when I grew up watching it. The storylines are better. Yeah, the storylines are still the same. You have your heel and your baby face, and you have it's always essentially the same thing. But the whole theatrics of it has just grown so much over the years.
And it's amazing that like guys like me who watch, team sports, so to speak, or competitive sports, are not more interested in it because there is a lot of drama in it. I mean, you see it all the time in football and basketball, parts of other sports and stuff like that. And there's a lot of dramatic things that happen, behind the scenes. It's like a soap opera itself. And then all of a sudden the matchups happen or something like that. I think the only difference is that it surrounds the person and the person plays whatever team they're playing that night. This happens to be that they have whatever it is that they're having beef with that particular person, and then they go settle in the ring.
Well, and I think the thing too, for a sports fan, is that the season doesn't end. It's 365 days a year.
And that's always the best too for people who are diehard wrestling fans.
Yes.
There is no off season. There's always something going on. So, and it's a bonding experience. I was there with my 11-year-old son, and the inner child in me is there. It's like, oh man, this would have been so cool to come with my dad when I was, his age. And you see men with their daughters, you see moms with their sons, you see moms with their daughters. The fact that you have so many female wrestlers now, I mean, it's not a gimmick. I think in the beginning it was a gimmick, but these women are athletes. I mean, they are.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing that these pro wrestlers, I don't get it because the pro wrestlers are way more popular than they are in other competitive sports, with the exception of tennis and maybe golf. I don't know. I mean, but so it's great. And like you said, it's year round, which I've always been a component of. You don't want to put too much A1 sauce on your steak. So, my thing is that, like, I couldn't watch football year round. I couldn't watch basketball year round. I couldn't watch baseball year round. I couldn't watch any sport year round except for maybe wrestling. And, boxing and fights happen, but they happen once a month. So, but that's the thing. But and there we go. Maybe I'm missing the formula here because, we haven't really had a viral moment and we haven't chopped up any videos with it. But in my opinion, I think the most viral moments I see on YouTube are with wrestling and combat sports, particularly UFC and boxing. And it's year round. So there is a niche for this. And I don't know if it's because of the one-on-one competitiveness, which I think that's what it is. I think number one, it's entertaining, but number two, I think that most human beings that watch wrestling do not want to keep up with a team full of 15 basketball players, 53 football players, and 25 baseball players. They can't do it. I mean, we do it because we love it, but a lot of people don't, and I can barely keep up with it.
And you're a fan, and you're an avid sports watcher.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me take it to left turn here because I know Brandon was going to want to know this, man. So tell me about your radio station that you work at.
So I am the program director at KFCE 95.5 FM. It's called Tiger Nation. You can find us locally in Wills Point on 95.5 FM.
Yeah.
Online, tigernation.live. We are rocking and rolling 24/7, 365.
Thank you for having us put on, by the way.
We have you. We have you guys on the 10 a.m.
Yes, and I told Hank that. So a friend of ours, Linda Fajoko, her son Braden plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I get a message from her, and she goes, "I heard you on the radio. Why?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, I heard on the radio station, I heard the show, and I was like, yeah, because we're on the station now. And she goes, oh my goodness, that's so exciting. And so that tells me that people are starting to listen more and more, and it really does. It means the absolute world. So the moment you told me you're good to go, you'll be on at 10 a.m., which is 11 a.m. my time. When you told me it was going to be on, I got the biggest smile. I look like the Joker with the smile being so big. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, we're here. And Hank's like, what's the station? Where's that? Send me a link. Come on. And I was like, I'm trying. So, you, me, and Matt were all talking, and Hank's like, come on, what's going on? I want to hear the answers. I want to hear. And I was like, hold on, I'm trying to get the information. And then I got it. And then Hank goes, I hear us. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. And then he calls me. And I mean, like, we are, we're all like kids at the candy store, or Christmas morning kind of thing. And we want to say absolutely thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Everything, our hard work is starting to pay off, and it really does mean a lot to us that you have put us on the radio station.
Yes.
Well, you guys are very welcome.
Hey, I appreciate it, and I hope. And look, for those listening right now, I'm assuming this episode is probably going to be on there. So, man, for those of y'all out there listening, I appreciate y'all, man, and give us our give us our flowers, man. We're on YouTube, the Sportz Nutz, spelled with the Z on the end of it, man. Give us our flowers at the end of this, man. Just go, man. We're on most streaming platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Facebook,
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram,
X or /Twitter. All these things, guys, man. Thank y'all for listening to us. And so, are you a sports fan, or do you just kind of work with it?
No, I am a sports fan. I mean, I'm in Dallas, so we don't really have a whole lot to be happy about some days.
Boy, we have a friend that's told us that too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am a sports fan. It's a very love-hate relationship with our sports teams.
It's funny, and
you have the Dallas Stars.
I don't usually like to tell our secrets, but one of the things I want to do is interview coaches from like these Texas high schools, because I think they're very interesting, and I think they bring a lot of notoriety. Because is it true? What city are you from?
So I'm in Terrell, so I'm about 30 miles east of Dallas.
So is it popular? Is football popular in Terrell?
Oh yeah, you talking about high school football?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where my town is basically the last town before civilization ends, and then you start getting into that deep East Texas where it starts looking very Friday Night Lights-ish, and the whole town, like our town doesn't shut down completely for the game, but the farther east you go, within the next 30-45 minutes east, those towns do shut down on Friday afternoons for the football games.
Absolutely. Really quickly, let me get this for you.
This question is for you, Sergio.
Does the station reach Altus, Oklahoma? It's a southwest part of the state. My cousin lives there and says he's going to check it out.
Yeah, so if you go to tigernation.live, so on there you can hear it. Go to the website and you'll see a little play icon. You click on it, and whatever's playing live on the FM signal is playing live right there. So the Sportz Nutz, you catch them. We've got you guys at the 10 a.m. slot. Monday through Saturday. So as we get more under our belts as a collective, you're going to start hearing all your episodes on there.
Absolutely. Do you ever have any? Do you ever have like any of these local football team coaches and stuff like that come on the radio or on the station or at this point?
No, at this point, I'm still trying to juggle this. This kind of fell into my lap in about September of 2024. Okay. And I essentially have built this thing from the ground up. Okay. We were playing bluegrass music when the station was brought to my attention. And we didn't have any on-air personalities. We didn't have any shows. All we had was just syndicated bluegrass music. So, yeah, I like bluegrass. Not to that extent, I don't think you do. No. So I built a website. I built the social media platform for it. I have done what I can to build it. I've hosted a podcast for the last 7 or 8 years. I worked in radio many, many years ago. It's one of those things where, just like you guys, you put in your time. None of this happens overnight. It looks like it, Everybody thinks
Yeah.
it happens overnight. Nobody realizes how much work guys like me and you have to put in to get to this point to where it looks easy. So that's kind of what's happened is now things are starting to fall into place. But I do more of a program director role where I'm in charge of the actual programming of the music, programming of talent acquisition, marketing. I do have an on-air shift that I do, but I kind of just fall in wherever I need to be.
Right.
So long term, yeah, I'd love to be able to have a bigger footprint with the show. I've actually had people reach out to me recently about wanting to come on the show. I'm kind of like a mini celebrity out here in East Texas because now they see me as like, oh, he's a member of the media.
Oh, that's great, man. I mean, believe me, I was in the radio business for years, so I get it. And man, I just want to say thank you for having us on, man. I know we've kept you a little bit over.
Oh no, you guys are good. I'm just hanging out.
Yeah, there you go.
Matt, welcome to the show, man. Introduce yourself to Sergio, please.
Hey, what's up, guys, man? Sorry for my tardiness, man. Some things came up, but Sergio, man, good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Matt. I'm enjoying the show. I'm excited to see where you guys go with this thing. We just kind of found each other. That's kind of how this is.
That's right.
This has all worked out. In general, that's kind of how this has worked out with the building of this station and rebranding of it. Is like I'm just discovering people that have the same passion for this, and it's not as easy to find as you think.
I can imagine.
No, it's I mean, it's sports can be saturated. Okay, let's keep it 100. I try to be honest with my audience, and one thing about it is that it can be saturated. So we need, but at the same time, in a state like yours where football is king, and baseball is probably right behind it, wouldn't you say, or would you say basketball is?
No, I would say baseball, and then basketball, and then hockey.
Yeah.
And it depends on what part of the state you're in. In Dallas, you have all the 4 major sports.
Right.
So, but like down in San Antonio, you only have the Spurs. And down in San Antonio, it's only about the Spurs. There is no other team.
Yeah.
So it just kind of varies on the state, on the part of the state.
Yeah, and that's a big state too. So
it is a very big state.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear it. As far as you live right outside of Dallas, man, that's probably more affordable and stuff like that. But yet you're able to maintain this culture of like small town high school football, which I hear is just as big as any college team sometimes, as far as fan popularity.
I'm telling you, man, it is insane, and it's a whole thing. It's Friday Night Lights is not a false narrative. Varsity Blues, that is not a false narrative. That is very real. And people are very into their high school football, probably more than they should be.
Yeah, I mean it's a religion down the football. High school football is like a religion down there, from what I hear. I haven't been to Texas in a long time, but I hear that it's king down there. And I always had a saying that church used to rule Sundays. Now it's football. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've left church early so I can go home and watch some football on time.
But you've never left the football game early to go to church.
No, that's true. You never have.
No, it's funny though. I have been late on this show because of church.
Well,
I've been late on this show because of church.
That's a good excuse.
Yeah. No, I remember it was a few months ago, but yeah, it was actually like this third episode when I was like a few minutes late or whatever. I had to go to the church real quick to pick up something, but then I came on the show. So there you go.
So with football, going back to the football, I would say that high school and college probably runs this state more than pro.
Wow.
Yeah, no, of course it does. I mean, there's a personal connection. I got news for you. That's one of the reasons why college football has this overwhelming fan support and stuff like that, especially among people, this melting pot of people that didn't even go to those schools and stuff like that. There is a personal connection with them, and then you get to the NFL and you can't even breathe the same oxygen as these guys. It's like watching Led Zeppelin or something, as opposed to watching, you know, I'm trying to think of like a band. I'm trying to think of like a smaller band that everybody kind of related to. You know, maybe like Rush or something.
Blink-182.
Rush is popular,
but it's not the same following, and not everybody knows Rush, but everybody knows a Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah, well, everybody knows the Dallas Cowboys, but they probably connect a little bit more to like the high school teams and stuff like that. I mean, maybe they're not wearing their merchandise as much, but they're probably more in tune to show up to the games.
You know, I'm not wearing my merchandise as much, and I'm not showing up to the games as much.
Yeah, that's because you're that's because you're an awful fan. You know, you should some pure garbage.
No, that's because I am jilted and I'm so upset, and it's just, you know, you can only get mad at your franchise for so many years and turning decades to where you're just like, what am I doing here? What are we doing here?
So,
do they even care about us anymore?
Absolutely.
People have said that Jerry Jones sold his soul to the devil to win those championships in the 90s, because he hadn't won anything since the 90s, which is really hard to wrap your brain around. Like, I mean, I was introduced to football in 92 with the Atlanta Falcons, and that's how long I've been a fan. And I can remember the Cowboys of the early 90s being dominant, but I told this to Matt several times and Hank that I could see the Cowboys. They could go 17-0 every year, but every time they come to the playoffs, what do? They're the choke kings. And someone tried to sit here and say that that Dak Prescott is he like better? Is he better than Tony Romo? And I'm like, that's a debatable question. You know, like, I mean, Romo had his moments, but you know, so is Dak. But one thing that's very common both of them is they cannot, for whatever reason, get it done in the postseason.
Yeah, man. And that's kind of what it comes down to is one really better than the other? Is one an improvement over the other, or is it a continuance of the same caliber of quarterback, essentially? You know, you have, and I'm not even going to pretend to be a sports person like you guys are, but I just look at it from the fact that you have your top tier quarterbacks, your guys like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers to an extent. You have those guys, that Michael Jordan level of player that can carry the team on their back. And then you have those guys that kind of fall in the middle. And that's kind of where Dak Prescott and Tony Romo are. They're never going to be able to carry it on their back. I forgot what was it, the 93 or 94 NFC Championship game when we lost to the 49ers. We were getting torched by the 49ers in the first half. And Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin basically said, we're going to take care of this. Give us the ball. We're going to figure it out. They lost that game, but it turned into the Michael Irvin show. And it was just, throw me the dang ball. Throw me the dang ball. Me and you are going to do this. We're going to give all of our effort. We're going to put as much into it and see what we can do. We're going to leave it on the field. And you just don't see that from Dak Prescott. You don't see that from CeeDee Lamb. You don't see that from the players that we have right now, where it's just like, give me the dang ball, and I'm gonna, if we're gonna fail, it's gonna be my fault, and it's gonna be because I tried my hardest and it just still wasn't enough. You just don't have that in those guys. Tom Brady, absolutely like that. Patrick Mahomes, absolutely like that. That guys that are like, I'm just gonna make it happen. Again, it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that they work really hard at their craft, and they're really good at it. But they're really good at it because they work really hard at it. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, man, you've stayed on with me long enough, man. I appreciate, man. I know I can speak on everybody else's behalf, man. You appreciate what you've done with the radio station and us and the collaboration and stuff like that, man. That's I want to thank you for that. And I know Brandon, we've already shown so much, gratitude, but it's not enough. So thank you.
Well, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me on here. I'm tickled to death to be on here. I'm in Vegas doing my Vegas stuff, but I'm tickled to death to be here. To be on here with you guys.
I was about to say, take your behind to that hotel room of yours and get some rest. Okay, you got to. No,
he gonna stay up.
Hey man, this guy's about to hit the slots, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
I am actually.
You got to get a nap in so you can watch the Triple H ceremony of him getting inducted in the Hall of Fame tonight. Okay, So
what? Real quick, one thing to know about Vegas is that you don't really sleep; you just kind of nap. And whether that nap happens in your hotel room, or it happens sitting at a slot machine, or it happens sitting right here in this little hotel area like I am, you just get these little cat naps in, and you do a couple of those a day, and that's how you power through Vegas. But you can sleep when you get back on the plane. You know, I got a 3-hour flight to get a good solid 3 hours, but my eyes are gonna get worse. My eyes are gonna get puffier, redder. By the time I leave here on Monday morning, I'm gonna look like a zombie. But that's okay. That's Vegas.
You're gonna die.
It doesn't kill me.
Send them off, Matt.
All right, Sergio. Again, man, we appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming on. I'm definitely gonna reach out to you, man, via different platform and pick your brain a little bit about this, man. But once again, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. So TigerNation.live for anybody watching and listening. The Sportz Nutz are on there from 10 a.m. I think we're doing 10 a.m. to noonish, Monday through Saturday. So, you know, if you guys are looking for another platform to listen to them on, you'll hear them on there 6 days a week.
Absolutely. And we cannot thank the fans. We cannot thank the great state of Texas. Can't thank you enough. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Go enjoy your time in Vegas. And for heaven's sake, you better have a couple, like 4 beers for us. And, you know, let us know that it's some of the best beer at WrestleMania, sir. Sound good?
All right. I'm going to do that.
All right.
Thanks,
Take care
Sergio.
of yourself, Sergio. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the man right here. And by the way, folks, I got to let you know, Matt is only like 45 minutes away from where I'm at right now. Matt,
y'all go hug it out.
I forgot that you are here in Georgia. I forgot. Oh, man.
Yep, I am in Woodstock, Georgia right now.
Yeah. It's no secret now, Brandon.
Aren't you over there? But you're over there by Greenblatt, aren't you?
So Brian is in Alpharetta.
Oh, okay.
Alpharetta is still about like, you know how Metro Atlanta is. You're always an hour outside of Atlanta, in Atlanta. And Brian lives 45 minutes one direction. I'm 45 minutes the other direction. I'm 45 minutes to 50 minutes from you. I'm literally a giant circle.
That's how it works. That's how it works, man.
I told Hank, I said, he's like, you know, where's Matt? And I said, Matt's going to be a little late, but I got to let you know the traffic, if what we experienced today heading up is
normal,
any indication, Matt is probably like going to be swamped. Dude,
it sucks.
I've been in Greenville, easily for 6 years, right?
Yeah.
I got spoiled. I've been spoiled with the traffic situation. Hank was like, hey, what is the traffic situation like? And I described it. Matt, kind of give him your dissection of the traffic situation in Atlanta.
Oh man, it's very, very, very simple. We have a few major highways here. You have one of the major highways is I-285. Always accidents on 285. Always accidents on 285. You know, so that runs through Georgia. You know,
285 runs the perimeter.
Yeah. I mean that whatever. We have Highway 8 now. My favorite highway, which I live off of, and I always get to Brandon, whatever. Highway 85, straight shot. Now you have to travel these highways. You have to know the times to travel them. For example, if I want to get on 85, okay, I make sure I go northbound in the mornings and southbound in the evenings because they're packed on the other side. We're talking about like bumper to bumper traffic, not moving,
you can squeeze
whatever.
Ball, by the way.
Yeah. You can catch up on a lot of reading, catch up on a lot of things. You know, same with 285. Well, with 285, you know, it's usually always backed up, man, east or west. I mean, it sucks. So the traffic, man, it's like, okay, let me give it to you like this, Hank. You want to go somewhere and it's literally 5 miles away. We're talking about now in the heart of traffic. It's going to take you about 45 minutes to get there.
No kidding.
If you
you just bored me out of my skull telling me that because oh my goodness, traffic is so stressful to hear about, much less be in.
Pretty much.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, man. That just kills me when I hear that. I mean, luckily I don't have to deal with it as much, but I remember, and I'm not going to tell another traffic story because then, but anyway, but no, I understand. So, oh man, let's get back to sports related stuff.
Hey, I got to let you know, Matt. I told everybody in the beginning of the show. I'm going to tell you since you were here. Shout out to Addison and the Lady Patriots, 8 and under softball team. Last night, they opened up a can on the other team, and they won 15-2. Every player hit got a hit. Do you remember the girl I told you about? People in Atlanta will use a turning lane as a yes, that's very true. So do you remember the player?
Okay, I'm sorry, Brandon. The worst is when they get in the turning lane and stop trying to get back in, and you got people behind them trying to turn, but they can't because the guy that stopped is trying to turn, get back into traffic.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Hank. It's just frustrating. I'm sorry.
No, it is. Oh my goodness, I know, I get it, and I'm being quasi funny about that. But oh, by the way, really quick, people in Atlanta will use a turning lane as a passing lane.
That's what I'm talking about.
That is very true.
No, I didn't know that was I didn't know that was a thing. But all right.
Oh, Atlanta drivers make up their own rules.
Well,
you know that if they see it, they will do it. The kind of thing. And if they see the opportunity to make an illegal U-turn with like 10 lanes of traffic, they would absolutely do it if they could.
He just did it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah. And then the next person will do it. Then the next person. And then when the cop pulls them over, what are you going to do? Well, the other 10 people before me did it, so why can't I do it? Is the answer the question?
That's why it's always best to be one of the first ones to do it because they can't arrest us all.
Well, it is the turning lanes. You know, they make their own rules up, man. They're the number 2 city in the country that turns gender. So there you go.
Yep. All right, so let me continue on saying, okay, with Matt. So the girl whose father who passed away, remember I told you that?
Yeah.
So it was actually it was a widowmaker heart attack. Unfortunately, he passed away. And so I don't know anybody else's spiritual beliefs, but if you believe in God, you know I do. I absolutely do. Look, this person just said Atlanta traffic is as sports as A+. Hank, please give the round of applause. That was the best comment right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
or it's quite a burn.
Absolutely. Sorry. If you guys want to hear what divine intervention is, last night a little AJ went 4 for 4. She had one of the most miraculous catches too. She heard her mom earned the game ball. So AJ had a 2-run blast, 2 singles, and a triple, and she would have gone 5 for 5, but they run ruled the other team. But Addison again went 1 for 3. She had 3 RBI. She leads the team in RBIs by 1. She has 9, and the next person behind her has 8. Shout out to the Lady Patriots. They have won as many games already as they won last season combined.
Wow.
And Addison is batting a wonderful 7 out of 12, which is a .583 batting average. Congratulations to the Lady Patriots. I just wanted to let you know that's what's been going on, Matt, with the girls. But, you know, and then obviously we talked about the Atlanta Hawks. We're not gonna talk more about them because they're toilet bowl. That's what they are. I don't know what needs to happen. Obviously, you know, I've heard Sabonis' name being mentioned heavily. They even said it on ESPN today that his name is linked to the Atlanta Hawks. And you know Atlanta ain't going to do something smart. They're going to do something boneheaded and be like, oh, yeah, we'll go get him, but we'll give you a 10-year, $500,000 deal because that's what just the Atlanta Hawks do, whatever. So then I propose this question. I want to ask the people who are watching right now, and I asked this to Hank also, and Hank gave his answer, but I'm going to ask you, Matt.
Okay.
Dallas takes on Memphis. Ja Morant is a game-time decision because he really twisted his ankle pretty good. Well, who wins this game and why?
It depends if what we're getting. If Ja's healthy and Memphis is on point, okay. But then again, Dallas is not a slouch. Dallas has a really good people. They let that Luka trade kind of, you know, deter them a little bit. But Anthony Davis is a really good basketball player still, man. So if Anthony Davis does his thing, I think Dallas can actually pull out with this win, especially if Clay's hitting his threes. PJ Washington, if he's doing his thing, and you know, I think Dallas would be tough to beat. The Grizzlies is too up and down, man. You don't know which team you're gonna get here right now. With Ja was getting beat up last game, but if Ja's healthy, if Ja can do his thing, And I think they'll be okay. But also, I think the X factor is going to be Zach Edey. If Edey can do what he does, Edey can get his 10, 15 rebounds, get you 10 points, and not be a liability in the pick and roll, I think they'll be okay. But with that being said, who's the starting point guard? Who's starting at point guard for Dallas? Spencer Dinwiddie, I believe. I don't think they're not as effective running that pick and roll as Kyrie AD would be. So, man, this is a coin flip to me. It's a coin flip to me, but I'm gonna go with Memphis. But it is a coin flip to me.
All right, very good. So the next question that I have to ask. So look, guys, I just posted a question in the chat. Who wins tonight, y'all? Atlanta, Miami, and Dallas, Memphis. Answer now. If you guys can answer those questions now in the stream, you have a chance to win a prize pack. And I promise you it's a good prize pack. Let us know in the comments. We will be happy to read them. And the person who has the best answers or even predicts the right one, you win the prize pack. All right. So the next question is, should Greg Popovich hang his whistle? He suffered a mild stroke November, and he missed the entire season, obviously, with health-related issues. But then also he had a medical issue happen on Tuesday night. He has been released, and he is doing fine and resting well. He is the oldest coach in NBA history. He's 76. He hasn't really had a formidable season on. All right, so look, you have been marked. If Miami wins and Memphis wins, you win the prize pack. So stay tuned for that one. We will send you a message. Absolutely. But let me ask you, Matt, should Pop hang it up?
Absolutely, man. I think it's just that time. He's been around for a long time.
It's 96.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time, man. So I think it's time for him to hang it up. He got a job in the front office. He's not going anywhere. He'll still be with the organization. I just think, as far as him traveling with the team and going to practice every day, I just think it's a little too much on him right now. And he got to know when to shut it down. And I think he does know when to shut it down. I mean, he hasn't been on the sideline all year. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's time for him to hang it up. And I think he knows that.
Well, and our friend Dustin from Tired Sports Network said Becky Hammon could replace Pop because Becky Hammon was a coach at one time. And, I don't know if you know who she is, Hank. She is the Las Vegas Aces WNBA head coach.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, she can get it.
What do you think, Matt? Do you think Becky Hammon could sneak in there and actually be the first female NBA head basketball coach?
Yes, my sentiments exactly, Hank. But yes, I don't know, man. I don't know. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think so. But would I be surprised if this happened? No, because it's such a Spurs thing to do. She has the respect because she was. People forget she was an assistant coach there already for years. And so she got the players' respect. She has the whole building's respect. And she won a championship when she went out to the WNBA with the Aces. I mean, of course, having the best player in the game helps, but I can definitely see them doing that. Again, I don't think it's going to happen right now. I think she's going to decide to stay with the Aces. I just don't. I don't think the NBA is ready for that right now. As far as the sense of entitlement a lot of these players have, I just don't think it will mesh well right now. But if there was an organization to do it, Spurs would be the organization to do it, and it'll be with her.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's a big maybe. It's a big maybe.
Yeah. It's I could see other teams. I could see other teams in the maybe like the Portland Trail Blazers or something like that, because they don't really have, unless they have a star on their team, they don't really have a culture.
That is true.
Portland hasn't had a real culture. Look, Damian Lillard, he will forever be known as one of the best Portland Trailblazer players they have ever had. Yeah. I mean, you have Arvydas Sabonis, who will argumentatively go down as the best center big man that Portland has ever had.
Well, Arvydas came in. Arvydas came in the league like in his 30s already, man. So. Yeah, I mean, Damian Lillard is the best player Portland's ever had.
I don't know about Clyde.
I wouldn't be surprised if Damian even gets his number retired there.
He will get his number. Nobody wants.
Yeah, no, nobody will deny. No, he'll get his number retired in Portland. There's no doubt about that. I don't know if I put him on the same level as Clyde Drexler. I'd have to really do my research on that because they went to the finals with Clyde Drexler. So
yeah, but it wasn't just it wasn't just
good
Clyde
with Houston. Remember?
Yeah. But it wasn't just Clyde. It wasn't just Clyde. They had a nice.
No, look, we're not discrediting. Look, Clyde Drexler is a great player. Absolutely, one of the best.
Yeah,
I think he was what he was. Matt, was he a 3?
Nah, he was a shooting guard.
So
yeah,
he's a 2-3 range. Yeah, he
was a wing. He was a wing. He was a wing player.
Yeah, well, there was comparison between him and Jordan at one point in his career. So there's some malice to what I'm saying about him being one of the best, if not the best, Portland Trailblazers ever played. Although then of course, we got to remember Bill Walton won an MVP with the Portland Trailblazers. Yep. So it's a very
Bill Walton's family. Unfortunately, he passed away this last year.
Yeah, so it's a very subjective conversation when we really haven't just identified it deeply.
You're right, but Damian, but back to what you said though, Hank, is the environment and the culture. I mean. I don't know the answer, so I want you guys to put our collective heads together in this one. When was the last time you could really sit there and say, gosh, man, we're going to play Portland. I am scared and shaking in my boots that we have to travel up there, or they're telling us we have to play the Portland Trailblazers because they're going to wax the floor with us. When was that time?
I can tell you when they were considered the Jail Blazers, and I was scared my team was going to go up there and partake in those activities and then fail their drug tests and then have to be dismissed from the team. That's what I feared.
What year was that, though?
I don't know, man.
That was when Randolph was playing for them.
Remember the Jail Blazers, man?
Yeah. That was
Rasheed Wallace.
My favorite is Rasheed Wallace moment is when Steve Smith is there and Rasheed just goes and watches the referee and he goes, timeout. And he goes, beep, you're gone. He goes, what? And Steve's like, what did he do? I told him not to look at me. I told him not to try and scare me. He's looking at me trying to scare me. That little referee.
Get out of here. Yo, whack job.
Dude, Rasheed Wallace, man, regardless of what people said, he had an attitude, but the dude knew how to play. And he is a genuine human being. I mean, he did so much for the community. Yeah. He still does so much for the community. Rasheed Wallace, like I said, he was known as a bad boy, but no, he was a great player, a great human being. So shout out to Rasheed Wallace. But I want to switch it up because I have a really interesting thing I want to ask you. Obviously, we know the draft literally knocking on the door. It is right around the corner. It is actually next Thursday, guys. Jackson Dart has officially said, thanks, but no thanks. I am not going to attend the draft selection in Green Bay. Look, there's a lot of players who back out at the end just because, some of them see it as a superstition. And others, they don't have the patience to sit there and wait, and he's rated as one of the, as a late first rounder. Not many people are going to sit there like, I can wait until 11:30 at night Eastern time. But then, what if I'm number 31 or 32 or whatever? I don't want to wait that whole time. He wants to go and be at home with his family. And I commend him on that one. But Matt, so John Gruden said, and I've heard this name mentioned so many times, not about John Gruden, but I've heard it from our good friend Braden Fajoko. I've heard it from Dan Orlovsky. I've heard it from Pat McAfee. Seen it. Literally, it is so many have come and said the same thing, that Jackson Dart is going to either end up in Pittsburgh or New Orleans. I've heard it so many times. And I want to know, I'm going to start with you, Matt. Where do you think Jackson Dart goes?
Well,
where could he go?
I think New Orleans does have two. They do have 2 first-round picks, if I'm not mistaken. If he's around, if they don't go quarterback their first pick, which I think they will, but if they don't go quarterback their first pick, and the second pick comes around, I could see him landing there. But Jackson Dart, I can get by him not wanting to attend because multitude of things. He might not be drafted in the first round. He just might not be. So he's going to be up there for no reason. Remember the days of Geno Smith and Brady Quinn sitting in the green room all day long, and to not even hear the names called. Well, Brady Quinn heard his name late in the first round, but if I'm not mistaken. But Geno Smith had to come back the next day. So I mean, yeah, man. I mean, he was graded to be one of the quarterbacks drafted at the end of the first, early second, and I think it's going to stick true to that. And plus, I think these kids they prefer to be home now, man. Unless you're a top 5, you're a top 10 pick for sure. Just like why go to the draft to embarrass myself? Sit there and agree with them all day. I'm going to celebrate with my family at home.
Absolutely. What do you think, Hank? Where realistically could you maybe see someone like Jackson Dart go? Because he is a high quality player.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like what Matt said. You know, if he doesn't go in the top 15, he won't go in the first round, in my opinion. You know, because people. I mean, there's at least 5 teams that need a quarterback, not just not going to do like Atlanta did last year and get Penix, even though they had a really wealthy quarterback. So there's about 5 teams that need him. So if he doesn't go in the top 15, he's not going to go in the first round.
Yeah, I can see teams moving up. I can see teams moving up to try to get him if that's the case. If there's no quarterback left.
Now I will say this: if I had to put Jalen Milroe and Jackson Dart side by side, and they both had to throw 100 passes, and both of them, fantastic completing percentage and everything. I personally would take Jackson Dart just because I feel like he is more electrifying than Jalen Milroe. Now, look, Milroe is a great quarterback. He absolutely is a great quarterback. Shout out to Jalen Milroe. I'm not discrediting him at any level, but I would take Jackson Dart over Jalen Milroe. What about you, Matt? Who would you take more, Milroe or Jackson Dart?
It depends what kind of team I had, man. If I had a real strong run game, I'll probably go with Milroe just for option purposes or things like that, man. But I mean, again, if I had a team with some really good receivers and I needed to get them the ball, then I'll probably go with Dart. But I think both of them are going to have really solid careers. To be honest, I think they're both going to have a really solid career.
I agree 100%. I think they're going to have careers based upon potential right now. But
wouldn't be surprised if them two ended up being the best quarterbacks in this draft.
I'm going to actually agree with you on that one because, Matt, I do not think – I indefinitely think Shedeur Sanders is going to be a bust. I have felt that from the get-go, and this nonsense that his dad is saying, if his last name wasn't Sanders, we wouldn't be talking about having my son's jersey retired. Look, he was 13-12 his entire career at Colorado. How? I don't know. What? Okay, Matt, let me ask you this, and Hank asked as well. If Shedeur Sanders gets his jersey retired, what about Cordell Stewart? Why did he get his number retired, Matt?
It would be
he did not. No.
It would be a gut punch if he didn't. If Shedeur Sanders, which attitude has a lot to do with it. I'm telling you, people always go with these cop out answers and stuff like that. I got news for you. I'm not saying Shedeur was a troublesome person or something like that, but people resent cockiness. I'm telling you, and they resent cockiness and they resent self-entitlement.
Can you blame him? His dad is Deion Sanders.
I don't care if his dad is Muhammad Ali.
All he knows is to be confident in himself. I mean, his dad has never shown anything other. His dad has never shown anything.
His dad has always been this. He absolutely has always been a man.
So I'm not surprised. I actually think that he's a little too reserved to be Deion's son. To be honest with you, Shedeur, in that aspect. Now his other son Shiloh is just like Deion. I mean, who Shiloh will probably be a second, third round pick.
But when you ask questions, you remember that, I don't know if you remember that interview he did with Tom Brady, Shedeur and Prime and Brady were on the same stream. And Shadeur's like, man, is it all right if I have this and, gold chains and all this stuff? And his answer was, man, you need to get your behind in the weight room or in the
playbook. In the
playbook. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm thinking of the room, the film room.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous that question even comes up because, college students are usually running by the skin of their teeth just to be able to play college sports. I mean, and I'm not saying that being poor should be a factor when it comes to being able to have success as a football player. But at the same time, we do, this is America, and we do like our heroes to kind of earn it a little bit more.
Unless your name is Nico.
I mean, he did. He released the Colorado to the highest ranking ever, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, and the best season since '94.
Oh, and I'm not saying that he didn't have. I'm not saying that his college career will not be a topic of conversation. A couple of years from now. But the thing about it is that, like Brandon said, he's a bust. I mean, is he going to be as bad as Tim Tebow? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think people are saying the same thing about Lamar. The thing about Shador, I mean, look, it's not his fault. It's a weak quarterback class. So you know,
well,
he's gonna be a top 10. He's gonna be a top 10 pick. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Somebody's gonna move. If a team in the top 10 is not gonna draft him, somebody's gonna move up and draft him. He's gonna be a top 10 pick. He showed enough poise in the pocket to be a solid QB in this league.
But is he a 10-year kind of player just because of obviously his size?
We're going to find out. Remember when Lamar came out, he should go to tight end or wide receiver, running back. You know, you don't know. Lamar was the last pick in the first round. So, you know, he sat there the whole time at the table with his mom with his head down till he got called by Baltimore. And nobody even thought Baltimore would draft him because they still have Flacco. Nobody even thought Baltimore would draft him. So, I mean, we don't know with these kids, man. I get it. Deion is his dad. You know, some people don't like Deion. I get it. He's cocky. You know, I get it. But when you start breaking down film, and you start looking at him, and you start looking at the intangibles needed to be a good quarterback in this league, I do think he has that. Does he have elite arm strength? No, he doesn't. But he can make every throw. Yeah. You know, go ahead, Hank.
But I need to point out, though, whenever people talk about their strength and speed and stuff like that, it's a whole different ballgame when you make this sport your full-time job.
Absolutely.
Yes,
it is true. Because and you know, I had a conversation with our good friend Brian Kajiyama. I said, college is 300,000 times different than NFL. It's faster. It's a lot more to remember. Look, Matt, remember, you know my playbook is it's this big, right? That's just me. Now, if I were the NFL, you triple that. You have a playbook sometimes. I kid you not, guys. It is this. It's like 360 pages.
Well, it's so big.
You have to remember all that.
It's on a pad now. The playbooks are on pads now.
But you still have to remember those plays.
The language,
and that's a lot to remember. In college, you only have to remember formations and route runs if you're a wide receiver. Quarterback, you have to understand the reads for the blocks, and you have to understand the pass routes and the run, everything. But let's just add another aspect in there. Then you got to worry about, you know, like the other sub calls for it. And then you got to worry about the fact that, you know, defenses disguise blitzes. Defenses have hybrid linebackers. Defenses have spies that you can't usually see and during the game, but you can absolutely see during film. But, you know, I mean, you have so much more you have to remember. And, you know, it's Peyton Manning said it best. You know, football is easy once you figure it out, but it's one of the hardest things you'll ever learn. It really is, because you're trying to be a mathematician in the game, because you're having to figure out, okay, you know, Johnny B is going to go run a curl, and Johnny A is going to run a zig, and then you got to worry about the Charlie route. Then you got to worry about a post corner. Then you got to worry about a post. Like, you literally have all these things. Oh, then you got to worry about the safety is going to come. I mean, the DB is going to blitz. Safety is going to come in from the A gap. Whatever. You're literally having to figure out all these things, and you're going, oh my God, I have to worry about so much. And Peyton Manning was so good, and you know this, Matt. You've heard the video and interview that he would call out 7 different things, and only one of them was actual and meaningful things. Yes. And then he started his Omaha. That was in Omaha. And when he started it, he was covering for the outside. Watch the outside. And if you guys don't know this, whenever you hear a play call, like they do an audible, it's the first letter tells you where they're going. Like if they say like Sally, that means slant. They're going to the player who's running the slant. Matt, you know this. Who usually runs the slant is the slot receiver. He almost always runs. That's where they're going. So just little things. If you didn't know that, that now you guys know. So, you know, now look, Shador is going to take 2, maybe 3 years to really harness his craft, harness his tool, and
as most players do.
Yes, and it's going to take a while for him to become what we expect. And you know, there is that 3-year like term that comes in for all athletes, especially NFL, with how fast and how quick and how much this game you have to adjust to on the drop of a dime. So if, and you know, I do not pray for New Orleans to be good. I want New Orleans to be bad forever. That's just us, because we're the Saints' biggest rival, the Atlanta Falcons. But if Shador comes out and he is selected by the New Orleans Saints. He comes out, he does good the first 2 games, and then pulls a Ryan Leaf. And they end up putting Spencer Rattler over Shador Sanders.
It's over.
That's when you start really saying this was the bust, and you use the Dennis Green, we thought who we thought they were kind of thing. And it's true.
It depends on his tenacity level, but I agree with you.
You know, and you look, it's a whole different ballgame. And then this whole thing about Travis Hunter, he will quit football if he can't play both. Okay. Well, if you play both, I can almost guarantee you your career is going to be significantly shorter because you have to adjust to both sides of the ball for your body to be handling that type of adversity. Also, you have to remember both offense and defensive formation.
They're not going to let him play both. That's not going to happen. That's just too much. That's too much.
Yeah. The last player who was extremely successful that was a multi-level player was Deion Sanders. Kick returner, punt returner, defensive back, and wide receiver. I bet you guys didn't know this. Matt, you probably did, but I bet Hank didn't know this. Deion Sanders had 5 different helmets for every position. He had a returner helmet, a kick returner, punt returner, defensive back, wide receiver, and Deion can throw the ball. He absolutely could throw the ball. So he was like their last resort hope, and pray to God he could be a quarterback. So he actually had a quarterback helmet. True story. Look it up. You'll learn. It's actually pretty interesting. But like I said, he was the last one that was that true successful one. Real quick, I want to mention this: the Stanley Cup playoffs. They are starting this week coming up. Can't wait. All right, Matt. All I'm going to do is I'm going to run down the teams for the Western and for the Eastern. You just tell them what you think will be the overall outcome. I told Hank mine. I'm going to start with this one. Jets, Blues, the number 1 overall seed in the entire NHL is the Winnipeg Jets. They won the President's Cup. No team has ever won the Stanley Cup that has won the President's Cup. Jets, Blues, who you got? And it's a 7-game series.
I'm going to go with the Jets here, man. They've just been dominant all year. I think nothing's going to stop them right now.
Stars, Avalanche.
Ooh, I'm going to go with the Avalanche here. I'm going to do the Avalanche.
Golden Knights and Minnesota Wild.
Vegas, right? Vegas Golden Knights.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Golden Knights.
LA Kings, Edmonton Oilers.
Give me the Oilers.
Maple Leafs. This is the East Coast, East Conference. Toronto Maple Leafs, Ottawa Senators.
Maple Leafs.
Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers. And you better select correct, sir.
Yeah, man.
First of all, there are no Panthers in Florida. But, we're going to go with Tampa Bay Lightning.
Very good. Good choice. I'm not going to throw a flag on you. Washington Capitals, Montreal Canadiens. And by the way, Washington finished the season 2-8 in their last 10 games.
Yeah, they're struggling right now. But I think they're going to turn it around. I think they'll be okay. I'm going to go Washington here.
And Carolina Hurricanes, New Jersey Devils.
I got to go with the home team. I'm going with Jersey Devils.
So, really funny story. David Caruso, who used to play for the New Jersey Devils, a friend of mine, who went to Roswell High School.
The actor?
David Caruso was a goalie at Roswell High School. He was a goalie for the back then it was called the Gwinnett Gladiators, the ECHL franchise, now called the Atlanta Gladiators. They're still ECHL, but he was called up to the New Jersey Devils. He played for 3 seasons with the Devils, and then he had an unfortunate injury, and then he never really regained his normalcy, and he ended up retiring. But good friend of mine, I actually really enjoyed talking with him. I actually have a couple of hockey pucks signed by him, so he's a really cool guy. So really funny story. All right, guys, we've had a fantastic show. Just a quick reminder, if you would like to meet us this coming, next actually in 2 Saturdays, Saturday, May the 3rd, from 6:30 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m., we will be at Tequila's Grill in Easley. We will be giving away T-shirts. We will be giving away a coffee mug or 2. We will be giving, it's merchandise in general. And we will also be giving away tickets to baseball. And I'll read that in a second. But we'll be giving away all sorts of goodies. So if you want to come check us out, Tequila's Grill in Easley, 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. We can't wait. It's going to be to celebrate our 100th episode. Matt, you've already said we're not looking down on the next generation for our show, but it's going to be pretty exciting to celebrate 100, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting, man. We've come a long way. I think when I joined, it was episode 20 or something like that. Probably earlier than that.
10.
But 10.
Episode 10.
Episode 10. So it's been a long road, man. We stay consistent. Consistency is what we preach. No matter what happens, no matter who's going through what, we will show up on Tuesdays and Fridays.
That's right. Real quick, Trey, David Caruso. He does not live in Miami. He actually lives in Columbus. He is one of the directors for the Columbus, Ohio Youth Hockey Organization. Check him out. Really good guy. Absolutely enjoyed him. Our friend Shane could not join us. He is actually at a racing event. Shout out to Shane. As you know, he always tells us, peace, love, and bacon grease indeed. For our good friend Sergio Bethencourt, who graced us with his presence as he is boots on the ground live from the WrestleMania weekend. He gives a warm, heartfelt thank you to everybody. Hank, what do you tell these lovely people?
Man, thank y'all for joining us. Man, it's been a pleasure. For those of y'all hanging in there with us, man, we appreciate your support. Believe it or not, I do think about that sort of thing. So God bless you and have a good night. Absolutely.
Matt, what do you say to these lovely people?
Guys, weekend's coming up. Let's make smart decisions. Let's not get flagged in the game of life. If you're going to drink, make sure you Uber or make sure you got a DD somewhere. And let's make some smart decisions here, guys. Let's not be idiots. Don't get flagged.
And call Matt. So obviously, guys, we had a lot of fun with you. We had a blast. Thank you for those. Obviously, we know it is Easter weekend. Shout out to everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great Easter celebration with your family. Obviously, we are here in Atlanta. Shout out to the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks. By the way, Matt, it's only a 3-point game. Could Atlanta pull it off? Let's see. Braves, come on. You got to get it going, Braves. You only have like 3 hits. Let's get it going and
put the call in, Adam Silver. Adam Silver put the call in. He said we need Atlanta in the playoffs. He put the call in.
Go ahead and please, Atlanta Hawks. Let's go ahead and get the move and call Sabonis over here now.
Let's go ahead and get Atlanta back in the game. Yeah, let's get them back in the game. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah,
copy that.
Yeah. I'm trying to go to Atlanta. I'm not trying to go to. They're playing Miami, right?
Yeah, they're playing in Atlanta right now.
I know, but the winner goes to the playoffs. Dang, I don't know. I'd probably rather go to Miami than Atlanta.
No, let's go to Cleveland.
Yeah. This is him halfway through the fourth. Cancel that. Go ahead and let Miami win this game.
Guys, you guys have a wonderful evening, wonderful weekend. As I always tell you, peace up. A-Town down White. It's the greatest sports city there ever was. I love my Braves. I love my Hawks. Let's get it going, guys. Let's finish strong. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the outro, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Good night.